Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Long time no see. I am Mr. Pringle.
And I'm Mrs. Kaiser.
We are the red 4th grade math teachers with a delicious review lesson on adding and subtracting like fractions. Make sure you watch all the way to the end for a surprise guest. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, here's the deal. I am going to show you how to add and subtract these like fractions first using these fraction tiles that we have here, and then I am going to show you how to add and subtract the like fractions just using paper and pencil, and then I'm gonna turn it over to Mrs. Kaiser for some delicious application of this new skill. So you can see up here that I have my one hole in place just for some reference, and my first problem is 1/6 plus 4/6. If I take that 1/6 and I slide it over to the 4/6, I'm going to end up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 1/6 plus 4/6 equals 5/6. Please, very important, take note that the denominator did not change in our problem. We stayed with the 6. The only thing that we changed was the numerator. We did the 1 plus the 4 and got the 5. If you were on Team Inspiration, you would probably hear the kids say, "It's the original denominator." On this problem down here, 1/5 plus 1/5 plus 1/5. You can see I have my 3 fraction tiles, and when I slide my 1/5s all together, 1/5 plus 1/5 plus 1/5 equals 3/5. Again, I did not change my denominator. The 5 stayed on the bottom. I have the original denominator. Everybody at home say, original denominator. I did change my numerator. 1 plus 1 plus 1 equals 3. All right, let's take a look at some other problems. I have this problem, 3/4 plus 2/4. So I am going to get some fourths here. I've got 1, 2, 3/4, and I'm gonna add on 2 more fourths. When I slide them all together, oh, this one's upside down. Yikes. When I slide them all together, I get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5/4. The numerator changes, it becomes a 5, and I have the original denominator, 5/4. You might notice a couple things about this fraction. One, my fraction tiles are longer than my one whole. It's showing me that my fraction is more than a whole. My numerator is also larger than my denominator, also telling me that my fraction is bigger than a whole. This is called an improper fraction, and for right now, that is okay to have an improper fraction. We're not going to do anything with it. Down here on the bottom, I have a subtraction question of like fractions. I have 5/12. 1, 2, 3, 4. Need one more. 5/12, and I'm going to subtract or take away 2 of the 12s. And I'm left with 1, 2, 3/12. The numerator changes. 5 minus 2 is 3, and the denominator stays the same. I have my, say it with me, original denominator. Now, you don't need the fraction tiles to do this. You can get rid of them. Like on these problems. Right here, regular old math problems, no fraction tiles. I'm gonna keep my denominators the same. So I have 6/10 plus 3/10 of the original denominator. And 6 plus 3 equals 9, 9/10. On this problem, original denominator, you ready? 5/8 plus 5/8, the 8 stays on the bottom. 5 plus 5 is 10. I've got 10/8, original denominator. And this one, again, is improper. That's okay to have an improper fraction. This next question is another subtraction question. It's 7/9 minus 5/9. I'm sticking with the ninths, original denominator, and I'm doing 7 minus 5, which is 2. 2/9. This even works on big fractions. 35/50 minus 30/50. So I'm sticking with my original denominator. Say it with me. Original denominator. And I'm doing 35 minus 30. 35 minus 30 is going to give me 5, and I'm going to end up with 5/50ths.
So as you can see, there are 15 total brownies in the pan.
So on Team Inspiration, when we talk about fractions, we always seem to relate it to food. So as you saw, there were 15 total brownies in the pan. Beckett here decided that he would like to have 4 of those brownies, and I decided I would like to have 2 of those brownies. So if the question is, what part of the pan are we eating together, combined, we would need to add our parts together. So the fraction that represents Beckett's amount of the pan would be 4/15 since he took 4 out of the 15 brownies. Mine would be 2/15 since I took 2 out of the 15 brownies. And if we're trying to find out how much that is combined, we would need to add those together. And as you saw in the previous video, if I am taking 15ths and adding 15ths to it, I'm going to end up with 15ths. So I am using the original denominator of 15. And then I just need to add my numerators. 4 plus 2 gives me 6. So my answer would be that together we are eating 6/15ths of the pan of brownies. Now, if the question were how much more is Beckett eating than I am, we would need to subtract those fractions. So Beckett's 4/15ths minus my 2/15ths. The same procedure, 15ths minus 15ths is going to give us 15ths. And then we just simply need to subtract our numerators. 4 minus 2, 2/15ths. Beckett is eating 2/15ths more of the pan than I am. So there you have it.
Don't forget, no adding or subtracting those denominators. Only add and subtract the numerators.